Peugeot's E-2008 delivers the full EV formula to the smallest segment of the SUV market, and in a trendy, very lifestyle-orientated package. It looks snappy, and in this revised form, thanks to a few tech updates, does up to 251 miles between charges. Plus, it has no practicality downsides over the combustion engine version and comes with monthly payment finance you could justify. In short, there's plenty to like. The E-2008 small SUV was Peugeot's second full electric model, introduced in 2020 as the brand implemented its strategy of providing an electric derivative of every one of its cars. Its introduction was part of the company's philosophy of unboring the future by offering customers the option of switching to a full electric powertrain without compromising on space, technology, looks, or driving sensation. Now, it shares all the same engineering that we've already seen in the Stellantis Group's other small battery-powered lifestyle SUVs, namely the DS3 E-Tense and the Vauxhall Mokka Electric. Designs that, like this one, share this Peugeot's sophisticated CMP common modular platform. Plus, those same underpinnings allow for a new generation of big car-style camera safety systems. It all sounds quite promising, particularly in this updated form, a car introduced in autumn 2023 with updates that have marginally improved efficiency. The tech spec here has been subtly finessed with this updated model, with the key improvement being the installation of a completely redesigned 54 kilowatt-hour battery, which has boosted EV range from 214 miles up to 251 miles. There's 18% more power for the electric motor it drives too, that output now up to 156 horsepower. The older 50 kilowatt-hour battery is still offered, paired as before to a 136 bhp electric motor and offering a 214-mile range. Either way, the electric motor works through the usual single-speed auto transmission you get with EVs. As usual with a battery-powered model, all the available torque is pretty much developed at once. There's 260 Newton meters of it, and this car simply hurls itself away from rest. It takes just a couple of seconds to crest the 30-mile-an-hour mark, and 62 miles an hour is reached in only 9.1 seconds, disguising the fact that, also like all EVs, this zero-emissions variant has a bit of a weight problem. That drivetrain adds over 300 kilograms of bulk. On top of that, this model's latest 54 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery is still significantly smaller than the 64 kilowatt-hour one you'll find in, say, a Kia Niro EV or a Hyundai Kona Electric, which accounts for the fact that this French EV crossover can't travel quite as far on a single charge as those two rivals. Of course, you certainly won't achieve anything like the quoted level of operating capability if you get anywhere near this EV's quoted 93 mile an hour top speed, or if you habitually drive your E-2008 in the sport setting that'll be necessary to release the full 156 horsepower power output that we mentioned earlier. The quoted range figure will only be distantly possible if you instead engage a somewhat restrictive eco mode that drops power output right down to 83 horsepower. That's the setting you'll use in an E-2008 around town, an environment in which it makes a strange polyphonic sound at low speeds to warn unwary pedestrians of its impending approach. Above 18 miles an hour, all you can hear is a bit of tyre roar from the eco-moulded Michelin rubber. The all-electric E-2008 is pretty difficult to distinguish from what Peugeot calls its thermic combustion-powered models, though brand loyalists might spot this EV variant's colour-coded front grille, which has this exquisite detailing. There's also subtle e-badging, which you'll find here on the front wings. The car also features the latest Peugeot Lion badge on that grille. Otherwise, not too much is different about this revised model, which gains a slightly more dynamic looking front end. In profile, you'll notice the way that top GT spec models like this one are distinguished by a black bitone roof. Wheel sizes are between 16 and 18 inches. We've got 18-inch Avisa rims here. Here at the back, there are revised LED tail lights made up of 3 superimposed horizontal double slats, which help to visually widen the car's stance. There's also a two-tone bumper, special badging, and a subtle roof spoiler. There are subtle differences inside with this revised model, where the innovative iCockpit dash design, which sees you viewing the instrument gauges over the rim of the steering wheel rather than through it, has been updated, primarily with a fresh look for the 10-inch digital instrument cluster, which features a 3D display on this GT version. Now, all models get a 10-inch centre touchscreen as standard equipment. The steering wheel gets updated brand badging and houses buttons for the infotainment system as well as the voice control setup. Plus, there are plusher upholstery and dash fabrics used throughout, including a smart Alcantara option for this GT version. At the back, the cabin's pretty practical. Even with a 6-foot tall driver up front, someone of similar height could sit behind comfortably. And this interior continues to set the class standard for cabin quality, with more soft touch surfaces than you'll find in the various rival Volkswagen Group small SUVs. There are small door pockets, beady little overhead reading lights, seat back pockets, and better models have twin USB ports as well. There's a 434-litre boot with a false floor that can be repositioned to create additional space. The capacity is just like any other 2008 and extendable to 1,467 litres with the back seat 60/40 split folded. Peugeot obviously thinks it's going to sell quite a few E-2008s. The prediction is 20% of total model mix, because this kind of powertrain is available with every trim level. There are 3: Active, Allure and GT. You'll need the priciest of those trim options if you want the latest 54 kWh 156 bhp EV powertrain, which at the time of filming meant paying just under £41,000. Otherwise, your E-2008 will have the older 50 kWh 136 bhp setup. Prices for that started as we filmed at just under £36,000 and ran up to just under £40,000. That's just over £12,000 more than the equivalent combustion version of this model, but it puts this Peugeot in exactly the same ballpark as direct, comparably sized rivals like the Kia Niro EV and the Hyundai Kona Electric. As before, Peugeot expects this GT variant to be particularly popular. This comes with 18-inch diamond cut Avisa alloy wheels, LED headlamps, a black tailgate spoiler, a contrasting black roof, some dark chrome trimming on the radiator grille, and a sporty body kit with a matte chrome chin spoiler and a faux diffuser. For easier and safer driving, the E-2008 comes with a range of driver assistance features, including adaptive cruise control with stop and go, automatic emergency braking, extended traffic sign recognition, lane keeping assist, driver attention alert, and blind spot monitoring. For enhanced traction, advanced grip control together with all-season tyres is also offered, which provides access to 3 additional driving modes: sand, mud and snow. Peugeot's aim was for this all-electric SUV to have a total ownership cost roughly equivalent to what you'd pay to buy and run an automatic version of the petrol model. Well, it's some way off that right at present. Its drivetrain claims to be state-of-the-art for a small crossover, though its WLTP certified range, quoted at up to 251 miles, is still bettered by popular EV class choices like the Volkswagen ID3 and the Skoda Enyaq. Bear in mind that, as with all EVs, the quoted range figures will drop considerably in winter weather or over long motorway journeys. If you're an E-2008 owner, you'll need to know that getting anywhere near the quoted range figure will necessitate staying in the powertrain's provided Eco mode. Activating its Sport mode setting will reduce your range by around 10%. We've averaged about 4.0 miles per kilowatt hour on this test, which is around 200 miles on a charge. What about charging your E-2008? With a typical 7.4 kilowatt wall box in place in your garage, a full charge from empty will take 7.5 hours, or 4 3/4 hours with the optional 11 kilowatt onboard charger fitted. The car DC charges to 100 kilowatts. With a standard onboard charger and hooked up to a public 50 kilowatt rapid charger, the replenishment time to charge from 10 to 80% is 45 minutes. If you're fortunate enough to find a 100 kilowatt rapid charger, that falls to 27 minutes. At the other extreme, if you happen to be somewhere you can only charge from a domestic supply using an ordinary 3-pin plug and the optional 3-pin plug lead that costs extra with this car, the charging replenishment time would be a yawning 20 hours. If you're converting to an electric vehicle from a previous combustion model, you'll obviously need to factor in the cost of an EV charger for your home and perhaps also your office. There's still complexity around the best charging hardware to choose and who is eligible for a government grant. And obviously the costs can vary depending on the distance from your main meter to the charger and other factors. Now, there's lots of advice out there, of course, to guide you. We consulted plugmein.com, who offer customers everything from choice of charger to installation and ongoing maintenance. They've advised us that even with increased energy prices, the cost of running an EV and charging it at home on a dedicated tariff is still only around half the cost of running your previous petrol or diesel car. As an E-2008 buyer, your dealer will also give you the option to pay a subscription for a so-called mobility pass. Now that will enable you to borrow a conventional petrol or diesel powered car from the brand for those times when you might need to undertake a longer or a more complex journey, holiday times for instance. What else? Well, insurance is rated at between groups 25 to 27. Servicing is every 2 years or 16,000 miles, and depreciation after 3 years and 36,000 miles is expected to be between 39 to 41%. That's about 12% down on the combustion version of this model. As usual with an EV, until 2025, you'll be rated at 2% benefit in kind taxation, and until that date, be free of the London congestion and UL/EZ charges. You can see why someone might really like the idea of an E-2008, especially in this revised form. It has all the style of Peugeot's E-2008 Super Mini, but with a significant amount of extra practicality. It's considerably more stylish than similarly sized EV crossover rivals from Kia and Hyundai, but you've still really got to be bought into the whole idea of having an EV to want one. Even if you are, you've got to like quirky Peugeot innovations like the unusual iCockpit steering wheel and the 3D instrument setup. But we think cars like this one need design touches of that sort. Models of this kind ought to be fashionable, forward-thinking and just a little controversial. The E-2008 is. If you are too, and if you can afford to make the price jump to a full EV, we think you'll like it a lot.